See if that works.
On YouTube. Oh, and
I
I'm
hope that worked.
one of them. There we go. One of them.
Is it streaming?
Yes.
It does seem to be. I see my name up there.
Is it streaming?
Yes.
Yeah. It does seem to be. I see my name up there.
Is it streaming?
Yes.
Yeah. It does seem to be. I see my name up there.
Is it streaming?
Sorry, let me turn my. Okay, my speakers is off on YouTube. So YouTube's live, Zoom's live.
So, Brent, do you want to at least say something since you're going to be leading the meeting?
Sure. Welcome everyone. We will be starting the SIGGRAPH 2025 review momentarily. We'll get some folks to come into the Zoom meeting and we'll begin. This will be an open discussion about SIGGRAPH 2025 and those who have joined, welcome in. And we'll begin shortly. And if you guys have any comments, questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. Also, Carl, do we have audience members able to speak during this meeting?
Yes, right now everyone has that option.
Great.
Hi, Julian.
There. Hi, Carl.
And we've also got Marianne and Chuck. Welcome.
Hello, thank you.
Our fearless leader was called away here and is so we're a little unorganized at the moment.
But we'll just give a few more minutes for a few other people to join.
Julian, thanks for redoing your talk there.
Oh, you're welcome. Hope you enjoyed it. I was able to dig up some new material between the first and the second one. So
I created a playlist.
well, it'll get better soon. Just today, I finally got the notice from the IRS that the History Institute is a 501c3. that means I can start accepting donations and I can get the JPL media read.
Huh?
Because, for media that old, it's not a cheap process to read it. So,
Yeah,
for
especially.
everybody listening, very shortly, I'll have information on the website as to how you can donate. Hint, hint.
And maybe you want to describe what it is that you would be donating to?
Do you want me to take a few minutes to distract from this meeting?
Yeah, just a minute, maybe.
So the Computer Graphics History Institute, it's a 501c3, and it has a twofold purpose. First is reference, because there's nowhere you can go to now about the history of computer graphics. You have to look in this book and that book and dig around on the web. And I want to have one place that you can at least start at, even if it's not all there at the beginning. The second is that it's a research center because it's being built on an RDF quad graph database. And the idea is that I'm looking at how information flowed, not names and dates and places, but rather how an idea got from one place to another and who influenced it. The interaction with the knowledge base is going to be through XR, not through text, not through AI. But you'll be able to, if you think of Minority Report, right, or The Expanse, doing that kind of interfacing for real. But it's all based on cognitive science as described by Jean Piaget in his theory of cognitive development nearly 100 years ago. Implemented using XR technologies. So there will be research into digital knowledge-based representations of history, research into managing knowledge with cognitive interfaces, research into tracking how information just flows from one place to another. So the institute will be both reference and research.
Mm.
And then I plan to partner with lots of universities so that professors can do their research topics using the institute, so that they get research projects, they can employ their students, and the institute gets content developed. So it's everybody wins.
Sounds worthwhile to donate.
Well, check the website tomorrow. I have to verify how to do it with the bank. So. And took the IRS stamp long enough to do the letter too. So.
So, Brent, do you want to start? It's already 7 after.
Sure, yeah. Great. Well, welcome everyone to the SIGGRAPH 2025 review by the Silicon Valley ACM SIGGRAPH chapter. We'll begin by talking about our experiences in Vancouver, what we learned from it, and something that we took away from the event.
Now, how many of us have been there? Marianne, Chuck, Julian definitely was.
I was not.
Okay. And how about Chuck?
I did not go.
Okay, all right. So we won't rely on you supplying any overviews.
I think that's okay.
I also didn't attend.
You didn't? I thought you did. Oh, Carl didn't. Right. Okay.
Alesh did, but I didn't.
We're going to get you to go one of these years.
When is it coming back to San Jose?
It's never been in San Jose.
It has been in San
Oh,
Jose.
yeah. That was when we still had hair.
That was 1977.
I wasn't out here yet then. But anyway, let's move forward to 2025. In the
Sure.
year 2020. Sorry.
Thank you, Carl. So it looks like both Ken, you've gone to SIGGRAPH in Vancouver, right?
I did. Yep.
Right.
In the past, I've had a full conference pass, but I had retired in December, and so rather than forking over the $900, I decided to fork over $200 instead. And so I didn't get access to the technical papers, but I did have access to the experience hall and the exhibition, of course.
Right. Can you go over the differences between a full conference pass and I think the experience pass? Because I believe that there are some stark differences between the two. And I think you've gone through.
Right. Well, with the full, let me get myself on video here. With the full pass, you, there we go. I got some light here. With the full pass, you get the electronic theater, whereas you don't with the regular, with the experience pass. That you have to pay extra for, which I paid, but it allows you access to go to the panels, the technical papers. There were some things in the animation festival that were closed to me. There was one that I could go to, um, but um, but for people who don't want to necessarily um, get up to date on the latest algorithms, then the experience is probably good. You get to, there's the art show, which is kind of interactive. There was the immersion pavilion, which is VR, AR kinds of things. And there was emerging technologies with a lot of new capabilities. In addition to that, in the adjacent hall was the exhibition where um, um, vendors would display their wares and allow you to try some things. So and there's about a 4-to-1 difference in price.
Yeah, absolutely. There is basically a lot of things like available within SIGGRAPH that is available to all audiences. So you don't necessarily need to be in the computer graphics field to experience SIGGRAPH itself. And like Ken said, that there are different price points to experience it. A lot of the attendees do go there for research purposes and just learning about new technologies, especially with the emerging technology pavilion in the exhibition hall, as well as the papers, which are very research based, that's scattered around through the conference.
Now, there's another level of registration that's exhibits only, and that you can get that for free if you have the right code.
Right.
Otherwise, it's $25, I think. So,
Yeah, if you're not into the, conversations or talks or of any of that sort, there is a physical um exhibition hall where you can like interact, talk with a lot of researchers and see lots of entertaining things there.
now you can't get into the experience hall with that. Um, so it's kind of limited.
Yeah, it's kind of limited. Like I think this year they had the exhibition hall split into two. One for the experience hall, which includes different pavilions and sectors like emerging technologies, um, and a lots of arts exhibitions.
Hmm.
So you are really limited on the experience if you just get the exhibition hall. Um, but you do have access, but with the exhibition only pass, you do have access to the um what is that hall called? I,
What did it have in it?
yeah, what I have in it? It's just a lot of companies and those who are advertising jobs. Oh, there was a job fair there.
Right. Yeah, the job fair was in the exhibition area.
Right.
There were a whopping six companies there. I think it was probably the one of the lowest number of employers.
Right. So there's a lot of little things up for everyone. Whether you want to look at new technology or entertain yourself in the exhibition hall, or seem to, dive deep, get your foot in the door through the job fair.
What was there that kind of stood out? Anything, a wow type thing?
So this year in Vancouver 2025, I don't know if you recall, Ken, but there were this new exhibition type in the exhibition hall called immersive
Right, the
theater.
immersive pavilion. So there's the immersive pavilion on the left, emerging technologies in the middle, and the art on the right.
Right. So
And they also did have, I guess, interactive hacking classes, I guess.
yeah, there's courses there too. So there's like essentially a lab portion
Right.
in the exhibition hall where they already provided you with laptops and computers where you can code or do a little program or a little animation depending on the lab session
Do you know whether
available.
you need to have any particular level of registration for that? Like
I think the most minimum level you can get is exhibition.
exhibition, right? And you can, if you had an exhibition level pass, you could go into the lab.
Yes.
That
Ah,
sounds
okay.
fishy because the lab was on the right side from what I recall, and you needed at least the second level pass to get into it.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You're right.
Not the exhibition only one, the one above that.
Right.
Yeah.
The experience.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have some commentary also.
Sure.
Okay, first thing I noticed, well, last year what do you call it? The employment, the jobs fair at
Uh-huh.
SIGGRAPH last year, last time was pretty short. It was a little bit better this year. Not that I'm looking for a job though. The second thing I noticed was last year the exhibition was really small. It took me maybe half an hour to get through it. This year I noticed that everybody who was at the exhibition last year was there again this year, but they had a whole bunch of new vendors too. That's really encouraging. If you've been going to SIGGRAPH for a while, you can recall that the exhibition used to be so big it overflowed the LA Convention Center, and they had to put semi-trailers across the street. So it's really good to see it expanding again. The unfortunate part is, I don't know if you noticed, but the SIGGRAPH budget was severely shrunk this year. Did you notice there was no VR theater? And this whole notion of the immersive thing was that a result of a couple of programs getting shrunk down into one thing called immersive. I was working with the person who was supposed to be the head of VR theater, but the position disappeared, and that was because of budget. And budget was way down, partly because of last year, but also because of the president. Attendance was down markedly, especially the full price attendance. This is a topic that came up at SIGGRAPH Pioneers meeting a couple weeks ago. And first off, federal employees didn't go because they couldn't get authorization anymore. Second, a lot of graduate students didn't go because they were afraid they wouldn't be able to get back into the US. So as a result, the full price attendance was way, way down. And that is the second biggest budget part of the SIGGRAPH conference, the first part being the exhibition. We'll see what happens this year. But SIGGRAPH is in some pretty serious financial trouble because of 2 years running at a loss.
2 years. I know last year in Denver was a little bit of a loss, but was the year before? Wasn't that LA?
No, last year was Denver. This or last year Vancouver is now last year. It's 2025.
Oh,
Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm confused. Yeah, I meant okay.
2024 is
Yeah,
Denver.
Denver
Denver.
ran at a loss. Vancouver ran at a big loss.
Oh, really? In 23 or something?
No, in 25.
Oh, 25, really?
This year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, I did notice that there was like a big portion of, the funds did come from the VR theater because that was a separate ticket And when you did register for any conference pass, there was no sign of a VR theater in during registration.
Yeah, it was canceled. So Marco, I forgot his last name, was the VR theater chair. Because since I was on the conference committee last year, I was working with the program chairs for this year, last year, as they got acclimated to running the conference. So he had a lot of plans, and then poof. So
Yeah.
Now,
Was it because of budgetary issues or
yeah,
just not okay?
yeah, because
next
SIGGRAPH's been going on for 50 years. They have charts of where the registration is supposed to be at certain times during the year.
Hmm.
So they already knew back in February that there was trouble.
Ooh.
Now, next
Yeah.
year's in Anaheim, and I've talked with several people from Europe who are unsure whether they want to come to Anaheim next year because of the unfriendliness towards non-Americans. So it may be a low attendance next year as well.
Yeah, just wait till the Olympics come along.
Oh, yeah, that too.
That's right. They did supplement it by having a new like immersive theater. So basically, just to visualize it, it's a stage, and in this stage inside the exhibition hall, they had like several like new technology tech. Um, I don't have the title with me, but I recall a puppet being used to acclimate 3D animation in real time. And I forgot the studio or the company that did this. Um, but basically, it's a puppet where actors can animate it in a real life environment, and it will be simulated in your 3D program. And the argument they had why they did this and not rigging it's traditionally is because you don't get the minute details as you would do um, doing puppetry than you would do while rigging.
Mm.
And fortunately enough, if you attended the last or the second to last day, they did have a real time live presentation using this tech. And that was quite amazing. And I believe they had several showings inside the exhibition hall as well. So it's every day there would be something new on that stage. Fortunately, I was only able to see the puppetry.
So I'll remind people about the monster playlist I created there and posted in the chat. If you want to, I mean, it's over 200 videos in there.
Whoa.
And there's a lot more to add too. So some of them are, over an hour long. I think the immersion one was most of it. I think they had to cut out part of it, so they couldn't record it. But there's also master thesis, and so
So
anyway, just
these are all the videos from SIGGRAPH 2025?
Yes.
yeah. Actually, I have another playlist that's shorts. These aren't all of them. I was updating the past month here when ran into a little trouble. I need to put Ed Catmull's up higher on the list there.
Yeah.
You want to say anything about his talk?
Yeah. On Sunday, Ed Catmull gave a talk to celebrate the 30-year anniversary of Toy Story. And it was a very emotional kind of presentation. All the people in, I think, was it called Pixar at that point? I think it probably was. They really wanted to make a feature-length film, and they ran up against all these issues. But they persisted and prevailed, and I highly recommend it. It was one of the most entertaining sessions that there were. If you do go to the link, I guess it's Carl's got the whole big list there, but I can post a direct one. Or
I can look for it here. I
Okay.
had it, but it apparently YouTube only wants to show 200 clips in the playlist, but it says there's 217, so it might be hiding in there somewhere. But
well,
I'll put that near the top there.
the first 10 minutes of that video are well, it was kind of an introduction for the pioneers of SIGGRAPH. If people have been with SIGGRAPH, or at least in the computer graphics industry for at least 20 years, they would be considered to be part of the pioneers. And so if you look at it, you could probably skip the first 10 minutes or so and get right to Ed Catmull's talk.
Yeah, I posted the chat the link to the chat. So feel free to view it. It's quite a talk, and it just goes over the history of his experience with Pixar and his journey. And it was like what Ken said, was really emotional, especially the journey he had.
Invite your friends and make popcorn.
Yeah, it's quite a talk.
So one thing I'll throw in is part of the reason it's emotional is many of us have been through the process of creating animations. And Ed talked about what was going on to get Toy Story made. He didn't talk about like any of the animation clips or stuff, how people were doing the animation. He talked about getting the movie to the point where it could be made. And I think that's why it was so emotional, because so many of us have lived through that. So
yeah, it's like really pushing just to get this project made, and then finally seeing it in fruition. And then
getting close to the point where they're about to say, "Oh fuck it," and then crossing over that hump and doing it. So
yeah, and it's like, wow, one person did it, and we've all experienced this type of journey. So it's quite a watch. Please, if you have time, please go watch it. That's one of the bigger speakers that talked at SIGGRAPH.
There was a talk about a search for extraterrestrial life, I think, too, wasn't there?
Yes.
The universe or something. Yeah, that was one of the keynotes. Do you remember any of the other keynotes?
Well, I also had a basic badge, so I didn't get to see him.
Well, I'd like to relate some of my experiences in the immersive pavilion. In particular, I had the opportunity to try on 2 different models of head-mounted VR headsets from Meta. There were the 2 versions. One had a really large field of view, which might have been even greater than 180 degrees horizontally. So you can get a full immersion feel. And the other one was high resolution. And so, oh, am I on here?
No, it doesn't look like it.
No, it doesn't look like it. Anyway, so with the wide field of view, it was lower. It was a lower number of pixels per degree. They both had about the same number of pixels altogether, but depending on whether they were spread out over the whole big field of view or concentrated in one little area, that was the primary difference. But I remember being in one of the demos where you were sitting in watching a basketball game. You're sitting in the stadium, looking at the people on the floor, and yet in my peripheral vision, I saw someone kind of lean forward with their cell phone. I wasn't looking at them, but I could sense them, and that really gave me a really good sense of being immersed right in that space. the downside of that was that there seemed to be a little bit of a kind of a canvas texture over everything, which was actually kind of pleasant. At least it wasn't pixelated. It felt kind of like canvas, a little, like it was a painting, a live painting. The other thing that I had mentioned was the high resolution, and what I had, what I experienced where I could, where I felt it the most was being in the cockpit of an airplane with all sorts of controls, not only above me, but also down and to the right. And I was amazed that I could actually read all the labels on all the switches and everything. There must have been, a couple hundred different switches and knobs and things like that. And I had all the details that I would want in, in having a immersive experience. Yeah, that's one of the things that I've never really liked about VR glasses is that the resolution is so low. I felt like I was looking through a frosted lens or something. Everything was out of focus. So this really brought it all up front.
Were these like extra dense displays, or the optics kind of, I guess you in order to keep the full aspects there, you can't stretch it out much, right? You have to have all the pixels, right? Or was
Well,
it gaze, or what? How did they do it?
Well, you would think they could use um, the same LCD for both, but they might have had similar kinds of resolution, but one of them had greater, it was more HDR. I think that was the detail-oriented one, had a greater depth of color. But the optics are the main thing. If you have an LED or LCD screen that's 1 inch by 1 inch, you need some kind of optics to turn that into a hemisphere. So yeah, they had a lot of special optics, and they really weren't all that big. There didn't need to be a cantilevered arm supporting it on top of your head. These were, they were heavier than sunglasses, but maybe only about 3 times the weight of sunglasses. They really weren't too bad at all.
Was it the Meta booth with what looked like the MetaQuest um goggles that you were wearing?
Uh, could be, yeah. There were two of them. One was pretty much straight ahead, and the other one was to the left.
Right. And there was a huge line for that demo.
There was a
in particular.
huge line, especially for the one in the middle. Yeah,
Right.
I waited 45 minutes. But that's one of the beauty things about having the experience pass. You don't have to get to the technical papers. You've got extra time.
Yeah. With that, let's transition to the technical papers. Have we seen any like technical talks or technical papers that, captured our eye?
Well, there certainly was a theme.
Yeah, so the technical papers is well, there's two versions of it. One is the technical papers fast forward, where it's essentially like a 30-second presentation of your paper. Your every researcher and PhD student goes up on stage, talks about their project for 30 seconds, and off to the next one. And this goes on for roughly an hour, 2 hours. But like Ken said, there are common patterns with each paper. It looks like back in LA in 2022, we talked about generative AI, and then this year we now have talked about, or the researchers have talked about Gaussian splatting, right, Ken?
Right, yeah. So Gaussian splatting seemed to be used in about half of all the papers. It was unbelievable how quickly that propagated. George Dratakis, I think, first introduced Gaussian splatting in 2023, just 2 years ago. Now, this is different than other kinds of splatting. Splatting has been around for a while. There's two different modes of rendering. One is source to destination, and the other one is destination to source. I usually know the destination to source. That's where you go in the scan line in the destination. You figure out what source pixels correspond to it. Source to the destination goes through all the sources and figures out where it goes in the destination. And in the past, the splatting that was done was a 2D kind of splat. And that worked kind of okay, but not really. It was hard to tune. These Gaussian splats are 3D, and they're not spheres; they're ellipsoids with arbitrary orientation. So I think the covariance of each axis of the Gaussian is based on how many samples you have. If you have a lot of samples in a particular direction, then you'll have a lower variance in the Gaussian, and it'll be small. If you don't have very many, then the Gaussian will be wider in that dimension, and that really seems to have made the difference. People have made a lot of really good images that way.
Yeah, like the research for Gaussian splatting has really pushed itself this year, especially with different topics with the top technical papers such as movement, animation, um, what's it called? Clothing, fashion, furniture, art, textures of that sort. And each domain uses that technique uh, well, and these researchers do know how to use them.
And I think there was at least one paper doing real-time Gaussian, 3D Gaussian splat.
Yes, yes.
Probably from NVIDIA.
Was it with the physics? No,
I don't remember.
I don't recall. Um, yeah, so we noticed a lot of a huge pattern with this year's technical papers. So I'm genuinely curious what next year's PhD students and researchers are planning.
Welcome, Alesh.
Yes, sorry, I'm late, but I had some business to take care of today.
What were your favorite things at the SIGGRAPH conference?
Yeah, we just talked about technical papers just now. We talked about Ed Catmull, the Pixar director that made it big.
Yeah, actually, Ed Catmull and Pat Hanrahan shared the Turing Award a couple years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think
you were saying?
I think Ed Catmull talked about, I guess, Toy Story.
What stood out to you at the conference?
For me,
Yes.
I think what I didn't. I was going to make some notes, but I couldn't bring them with me right now. But I remember what I guess it made my mind. So a couple of things. Like the areas I was most interested in was like, I mean, like the technical papers. In the technical papers, there was like I was interested in like papers focusing on like photography and video creation. And I guess let's see. I guess I mean so I in my notes I put down there were like good parts and like parts that I'm not quite, which like the highlights and the misses. And like in the highlights, there were like papers on like I mean like for me, I was mostly interested in like the there was like a paper on from Adobe about using AI to I guess edit photos. I mean, not create the photos, but like to create the just the lighting and the colors and all that stuff. And the thing that interested me, the reason that was interesting to me was and I guess it could be useful for um, photographers who have like clients and they take maybe 100 pictures of their clients, maybe for like a wedding or something, and they need to edit them all. So you can apply the same edit using AI, because the AI, I talked to the author after the presentation, and I guess the AI can like learn the style of the photographer and like apply it, and then maybe so that would save a lot of work. There's another paper like on editing from Stanford on editing like hand drawings, which was pretty useful. I mean, pretty interesting because it uses AI too, so you can like recognize like hand which parts of the picture, um, select different parts of the hand drawing picture, which I think would be pretty difficult to do by hand. I've never really done illustration and stuff like that. Um, and then also, I mean, I think progress in like holographic displays and holography is continuing in SIGGRAPH. So yeah, I mean, I guess I don't have my notes with me, but I guess there's a couple of really great work on holographic displays. So, I mean, now is maybe time to mention that we are trying to. If you're interested in holographic displays, come check with us back in a few months because we might have. I think we're going to try to schedule a speaker from Stanford, who's going to talk about his latest research. I think he is. I can't remember his name right now, but he gave a presentation before, so you might find that on the YouTube channel. Those are some of the highlights, but I think for me, there's also some like maybe misses. I would say like a lot of, at least for me, a lot of like video editing and photo editing is creating like fake stuff using AI generation, and for some reason I just don't find that useful. At least not something I would ever want to do. I mean, the results are pretty amazing, but it doesn't solve any problems for me. So it doesn't seem like it's going down like creating a solution which doesn't solve at least problems for me. It might solve problems for other people because maybe like if you're creating like special effects or like commercials or something like that, though these kind of tools might be useful, but I don't know, just it doesn't seem like so it's hard to know how exactly like where exactly these tools are going to be useful for things. So that's kind of where I'm kind of like a little bit disappointed. That kind of seems like they're kind of creating tools or creating solutions maybe without thinking of what the problems are going to be. Those are some of my highlights.
Huh. Thanks for sharing, Alish. Um, so
Oh yeah, so one more highlight I forgot to mention. I think there was a keynote speaker by NVIDIA, and I think their real time path tracing demo was like really incredible, and I mean it's really come a long way. And I mean I don't remember exactly what Jensen gave some stats, and I think he was saying like, oh okay, only like a lot of the pixels now are being AI generated, so that's and that's and I don't remember exactly what number he gave, but it was pretty amazing.
right. I believe that was during the real-time live presentation, was it?
Uh,
Uh,
yeah, it was NVIDIA presented at Real Time Live, and they also had their own keynote at SIGGRAPH.
Right. There were three speakers from NVIDIA. I think one of them was Sonia from Toronto. Another, I forget what the other two were. But I think one of them was a previous speaker at one of our previous events.
All right. Okay.
The real-time live one is a 2.5 hour long video, but I think they couldn't show one item or one presentation, I think, during that. So
That's right.
but
They
it covered
only
most of it.
Yeah, I think they were only given 5 minutes, 10 minutes to present their thing, before getting cut out. Yeah, they did have a video out, which is an hour or so long. But you're right. With NVIDIA's keynote talk, they did talk about path tracing as one of their hallmarks and how they're now developing or have been developing a real-time use for it. And I didn't know that they're having essentially AI generated pixels for that. So that was a very interesting topic to go over.
Yeah, the NVIDIA research special address is an hour and 10 minutes. So
It was also an interesting keynote. I think I forgot who the speaker was exactly from Adobe. He talked about computers can create art, and I mean I don't remember exactly what he said, but I think his overall conclusion was all art is like human made art. Computers really can't create art.
Yeah, that was Aaron Hertzman.
Yeah, Hertzman, right?
Yeah, he's been he's quite an artist. I happen to be on his Facebook page, and he posts a lot of sketches that he does that are pretty amazing. He uses the computer and probably a tablet, but the art is created himself, and he's actually come to the conclusion that we have a different sense of perspective than that used in rendering 3D computer graphics images, and he has some experiments to kind of illustrate that. But yeah, he says humans are creating art. If you look at the Dolly or all the other programs that will do generative AI, a lot of them learn from looking at other images. So, in the at least the artwork is initially done by humans and might be combined by the computer, but the humans are the ones who've done it.
well, the phrase they use sometimes for this AI is a stochastic parrot. So it's copying what the humans have said in some way. But
When you
yeah.
say different sense of perspective, do you mean the transform or do you mean the metaphorical one?
Kind of the transform. I remember a particular image about a bridge where he seemed where uh, um, it wasn't divide by W kind of perspective. Things were a little bit more compressed than would happen by using that perspective division. Yeah, he's got a paper on that somewhere you could download. He's also done a presentation on it as well. And in fact, this talk about whether computers can do art, apparently he's done that a dozen times before. So it was pretty well polished by the time he came to SIGGRAPH.
New theory of perception that breaks the rules.
Okay. Um, so moving on, there are like different events also happening after SIGGRAPH. So each day there's always like an event happening. Oh, thanks, Carl. Such as the chapters party event. I believe that happened on the second day.
I think it was Monday night. Yeah.
Always on Monday.
Yeah, it's always on Monday, right? Um, yeah. So what happens at a chapters party?
Well, in the past, it's been really loud, but this time I didn't need to use earplugs.
But it was still, I mean, yeah, it's still really loud. It was in the club, music was really loud, and people dance.
Yeah, I walked by on the sidewalk and it was really loud.
Mm.
hmm
Yeah, I remember me and at the party, and I was trying to talk to him. I had to yell at him as loud as I could. He couldn't hear me anyway.
Yeah, a lot of the chapters come together, both professionals and students chapters, um, come to this event. And I believe it's free for all. So anybody who has a pass, I'm not sure if they did check passes this time around, but anybody
Yeah.
who has a pass can come in and then mingle with a lot of the chapter members and attendees at this party. And it's great because it's also like a kind of low key like networking opportunity just to see your, you know, coworkers or people you've worked with just dancing.
Does anybody here remember the SIGGRAPH band?
The
Oh,
SIGGRAPH band?
are you talking about um, Jim Blinn and Todd Rundgren?
No, there was all graphics people. So
Huh.
Jim was playing the trombone. I forget who else was playing.
Huh.
Todd can't perform because of and contract requirements,
Mm.
but there are plenty of musicians in SIGGRAPH. So
Well, there was one concert that Todd was giving in Boston at the same time as SIGGRAPH, and Jim Blinn joined him up on stage.
there did used to be a SIGGRAPH band. It was around for maybe 2 or 3 times,
Huh.
and that was back when SIGGRAPH still had the conference reception.
Mm.
Didn't
Uh,
we rename it to like the SIGGRAPH after party?
no,
No.
the reception, it really was a conference reception. It's gone. So
I mean, I think we had one before the pandemic, so hopefully, I wish it would come back.
You're right, yeah.
Well, you'd have to pay an extra $100 for registration in order to do that.
yeah, it's not cheap to put on. So.
Yeah. Um, were there any more after SIGGRAPH events that happened during the week?
Oh yeah, NVIDIA always has the Kronos reception on Wednesday evening
Oh yeah.
because they're spending most of Wednesday doing different sessions on Kronos and GLTF, that those kinds of topics, and then they end with a reception that's basically open to everybody. So
And you can get a T-shirt. They finally had good looking T-shirts this year.
Aren't there some SIGGRAPH events as well? I seem to recall a pipeline conference and something else where there's research papers presented. Were those happening?
Yes, Fran Zandanella runs the Pipeline Conference,
Uh-huh.
and I believe that happened before the conference.
also the educators do a kind of conference before SIGGRAPH.
Wasn't there also another conference that happened like the weekend before, or was it the same weekend?
You mean like at the same time as the chapters workshop?
Yes, yeah.
I think so.
I don't recall what that was.
Is anybody feeling dismayed that it's only been 2 months and we can't remember?
Yes. Yes.
Well, there was the electronic theater that I went to. I think it was on Monday.
Right.
There was no Yoshiro Kawaguchi sake barrel opening. Well, it was virtual, but it's not
It's
virtual.
not the
Sake
same.
doesn't taste the same.
Yeah.
And you have to bring your own sake too, which is
Yeah.
not fortunate.
You also have to bring your own sake cup. So because
I heard somewhere
the
he had
virtual
that
one can
event,
look
but
better.
in SIGGRAPH Asia, where they had real sake.
Oh, did they really at SIGGRAPH Asia?
I think I saw that somewhere having
Ah,
him having that event in SIGGRAPH Asia. So I guess it's closer to where he is. Maybe he's doing it over there now.
yeah, that would make sense. I guess I'll have to go to SIGGRAPH Asia next year. Do you know where it's going to be?
Hong Kong.
That's this year in Hong Kong, yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
this
wow.
year it's in Hong Kong. Okay, yeah, in December or something. Mm. Yeah, I heard that that will be a little bit of a challenge for Western presenters. You won't be able to bring your cell phones or your computers there.
Really? Why not?
Well, because it's China, isn't it?
Right. Oh yeah.
And they they have to supply the computers and cell phones or
Oh
whatever.
really?
So
Is
yeah.
that something new? Because I thought they had SIGGRAPH Asia for many years already.
Oh yeah, but this is the first time it's in China.
Oh.
Well, with Hong Kong
Well,
no
Hong
longer
Kong.
Hong Kong, right? So
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hong Kong. Mm. It was in Tokyo last year, and Tokyo was great from what I heard from everybody.
speaking of the film show, we are still I'm working on seeing if Deanza might be able to screen the film show at their place,
Hmm.
Deanza College, but that's real early in the process. And we'll check about some other venues, but we hope to be able to screen that.
Are you talking about the Computer Animation Festival, Laurel?
The traveling
The
show,
electronic
yeah,
theater.
Electronic
yeah,
Theater, yeah.
We
traveling,
will
yeah.
not be able to stream it. That's verboten.
Oh,
It's got to
Yeah.
be done in person.
Yeah. So anyway, I was looking at Deanne's as a possible venue,
Hmm.
but I'm still waiting on some more handshaking. They were, but yeah, if someone else has a good venue you want to
Well,
recommend for,
Tamash has suggested possibly the UCSC extension in Santa Clara, but I don't have any contacts there.
yeah,
I
I
do,
have.
because that's where SVBR holds their meetings.
Ah, okay. Do you know some of the people who run that? Could you get information from them?
Yeah.
That would be great.
Carl, what's the expected attendance and when you do that?
Um, I have no idea since we haven't done it since pre-COVID. So,
Well, in the past, hasn't it been something on the order of 60 to 80,
Okay, no problem.
yeah,
maybe 100?
Yeah,
I mean, we can limit attendance in some sense, but yeah, how
the
big is their
room,
venue there?
that room can easily hold 120 people.
Oh, perfect.
Is it a good theater type thing? Is
No,
it no?
no,
It's
it's
flat
definitely a
floor.
lecture auditorium. They have 3 screens driven by one video source so that people get, it's a long, not narrow room, but it's a long
Mm.
room. But you have good visibility from every point in the room to one of the screens. So if you need a large screen, that's a different problem then.
Now, maybe we can kind of sell tickets for that ahead of time to, limit the number of people. I know San Francisco does that.
Yeah, but that was at Pixar, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think 100 room with 100 people should be big enough. I mean, it shouldn't. I don't think we're going to fill that.
We probably won't.
Make sure to raise this issue because there may be legalities in selling tickets at a UC venue.
Yeah, or at De Anza too. So I was going with the free aspect, I think, and
Ask for donations.
yeah. And then there's a question about like food or something too, whether people want.
Oh, pizza is always appreciated.
Not from Little Caesars.
No, from Costco.
No, but they don't have the combo anymore.
I know. It's either cheese or pepperoni.
It's very unfortunate.
Too much work for them to do the combo.
Okay,
Buy something.
to go back on Marianne's question about is there any issues with Hong Kong? Yeah, a lot of countries require a visa to even enter Hong Kong, and sometimes to get admitted, it usually takes a month prior to the conference. So, unlike, Canada previously, where only a few countries are restricted, with Hong Kong, it's a lot more actually.
I'm not sure about Hong Kong, but I know you're going to need a visa to go into China. So it's probably the same rules as China. Maybe.
Yeah, there's like 60 countries that are restricted and need visa requirements.
Yeah, well, I mean, a visa is one thing, but you're talking about not being able to bring in equipment. So I was just wondering how that conference survived all those other years. So thank you for explaining that that's different in different locations.
Yeah, it's different. Like you have to. I think there's some specifics or legal thing, but it has to not be for work or for study to have that laptop be in the country.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
once it's a professional conference,
It's a bit professional science, you
Which
can't
is
really
either
bring it.
work or yeah.
But this does
well,
make sense
this is
because
my hobby. Graphics is my hobby.
it's like you gotta convince immigration, like, yes, this laptop is not work related, it's not, study related, therefore I
I
can
only
bring it
play
to the
games on
country.
it, Oh, wait a minute, that was work. No.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I
Yes.
haven't been able to attend SIGGRAPH in a number of years, but I've been to several of them in the past. So, when you're talking about the different rooms and the different types of presentations, I definitely can relate, and it's interesting to hear what's happening now.
Yeah, there's always something for everybody. Um, Carl, do we have a time limit to this meeting?
Well, other than we were doing a planning meeting afterwards, but
Which
Okay.
is supposed to be
Alesh,
happening right now.
Yeah, maybe we should start the planning meeting if
Okay.
if people want to continue on here,
Yeah, let's
where's
let's
that agenda?
continue.
Someone want to post that agenda?
I think I posted one in Slack.
I meant post it here,
Oh, okay.
but
Yeah, I don't have a way to. Let me see if I can post it here.
let me see if we can find it. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I don't have a good way either.
Let me see if I can get it from Slack. I mean, I don't have my computer with me where I am right now.
Okay, I can copy and paste, but it'll take a little bit.
Okay,
So,
let's finish off this SIGGRAPH review first. Ken, you were saying?
oh, I was just going to mention to Marianne and Chuck as that we're going to be ending this meeting and changing into a different meeting, a chapters planning meeting. I don't know whether you got that.
Yeah, but you guys are welcome to join us, and if you want to continue, if you want to contribute to like the events that we're going to plan.
Otherwise, you're free to
Escape.
log off.
No, I appreciate the inclusion. I was actually getting a phone call a few minutes ago, and the person is in a different time zone than I am, so they're already 2 hours later than me. So I think I'm going to take you up on being able to leave for now and return the call.
Okay.
All
Well,
right. Well,
Nice
thank
to
you
feel
have
for
free
you
joining
to
us.
join us.
feel free to just suggest events in the future here too. You know, we're always looking for topics people are interested in. And
Right, right.
No, well, thank you. I just saw this a few days ago that you were doing some recap of the conference, and I thought, oh, how nice to talk to some people who were able to go. So thank you.
check out that playlist. There's only like 217 videos in there right now. So
I didn't look at all the links, but I saw that there was a lot there, and they were all official videos, and I really appreciate access to that.
No
thanks for
problem.
attending.
Thank you for
Okay,
attending.
All right.
have a good night. Thank you. Bye now.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye, Marianne.
Okay.
Hey, it was nice meeting all of y'all. And have a good night.
All right, thank
Thank you,
you.
Chuck.
Good night.
All right, and I'm bugging out too, so my,
Good
my,
night also.
my plan is
Oh,
to go
come
work on
on,
paper.
Julian.
No,
You're an
I have-
honorary officer. You have been a past officer.
well, yeah, but now that I have the IRS letter, my plan is to start strong arming all the people who have promised donations.
I did create a short playlist inspired by the event. I call it Flight, Space, and Computer Graphics. But I only have 10 videos in there. So I have like the Digital Star that gave a talk uh, for the group. Let's see, Star Wars, SIGGRAPH 80. Oh, the Mechanical Universe demos. You know, you had the Jim Blend stuff, several of his things. Anyway,
Yeah, it turns out we have several copies of everything the graphics lab ever did. So there's a very good chance of getting things reconstructed. And it includes things that were done for internal purposes. Because, like you saw Jim's animations that he did big time, but there was a lot of stuff we would do for like proposed missions that would go to congressional committees and never saw the public light of day.
yeah, that'll be good to put them out there for the people to see what we missed, huh? Opportunities.
Well, yeah, there was some neat stuff, a lot of neat stuff we had to do then because we didn't know you couldn't do it. So.
We actually used for the museum exhibit we created for the tech museum when it was the garage. So we re-rendered Mars the movie with a atmosphere sort behind it, and then multiple paths and um, sound effects. Gary Wrightstrom did the sound effects for us. This was before he won all his Oscars. So it was great to. Anyway, so that was neat to have that part of.
Carl, I want to
Database.
bring up something. You know, we're still broadcasting on YouTube.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, stop streaming.
If you want to
Yes.
stop streaming that and maybe stop recording here.
Right.
Okay, hang on a second here. Stop recording. Thank you for reminding me. Stop cloud recording, and then I'll stop the. Where is that? But I'm trying to stop it here.
It seems like it's delayed about a minute or so. I'm watching the transcription fly by about a minute
It
after.
shouldn't be quite that long a delay. I tried to minimize that. Let's see.
Does
I thought I
anyone know where
stopped it.
Zoom moved the save chat button?